I was listening to a podcast the other day with Tim Ferriss, and I like Tim Ferriss. I like the way he does his podcast, but he had Jim Collins on, and Jim Collins is the Good to Great writer. He's a big business consultant. He's just one of these brains that is unbelievable to be able to pick and listen to the interview. And what was interesting is he doesn't do a lot of interviews, and so Tim has spent years trying to get him on. Jim's going through the way he plans out his year and tracks his year. And it's very mathematical and scientific. And, I'm thinking, I would never do these things. I would never track on an Excel spreadsheet, these things. But there was a really good message in there that I took away. And it was he tracks where he spends his time. 50% of his time has to be creative, doing something creative, in a creative state, writing, thinking, thought-provoking things, something that makes him feel like he's in a creative mood or mode. 30% of his time is for teaching, and 20% is for doing stuff, like getting things done. And I think it got me thinking about this year as I did my planning and my organization and all of my, what do I want to accomplish this year and where are we going to go and what are we doing for the company and personally what's important. When I listened to Jim Collins' message, it really got me thinking about simplicity. How simple is it to break your day down into a couple of things? How much did I think today? Did I make time to be creative? Did I make time to actually lay out some of my ideas or the idea for the appointment I'm getting ready for or whatever it may be? But where was I in a creative flow state today or this week or this month? And what Jim does is Jim actually tracks it in a spreadsheet, and he analyzes that at any point in time, he could pick June 1st, 2019 to June 1st, 2020, and he should always be in a 50-30-20. Now, we probably aren't going to do that. But the simplicity of the message was something I decided to take away. This was one thing that I took away, and the creative state was one, that the teaching was another. If you're a parent, you want to teach your kids not to make some of the same mistakes you did, right? You want them to learn from things that you've done. If you're a business owner, you're hoping that everybody is able to take some of the things that you can teach and make the business results better. Make the client experience better. Whatever it is, you always want to make it a little better. And you don't get there by not having time to teach. If all you're focused on is doing stuff, the 20%, and most people probably have that flipped upside down. They're spending 50% or more doing stuff. They're spending very little time teaching and very little time in a creative state. And so that's my takeaway. Hopefully you enjoyed the quick cliff notes of one small portion of a couple of hour long interview. But if you're driving along, I highly encourage you to put it in and see what you come up with. What are you doing in 2020? How are you making this a year of simplicity? How are you creating a state that you can be in to think more, to create more, to be more of what makes you unique? I'm Scott Danner. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. Most of all, thanks for taking time out of your day to actually hear what we have to say, what I have to say. Hopefully it's given you some good thought-provoking ideas to spend some time tomorrow thinking.